don't know how to begin this video. I've spent the last 7 months of my life working on my first commercial game project, and I'd like to share my experience, alongside various tips and tricks I picked up on the way. If you're an aspiring game developer like me, or you're interested in hearing someone yap about this subject for like 10 minutes, this is the video for you. It's been a long time coming, and if you're new to the channel, welcome! This is the still ongoing journey of Connected Fates. But first, here's a quick rundown of the game so you can call my bluff. If you don't care, there's timestamps so you can skip to the tips themselves, but this brief synopsis will help for future context. Connected Fates is a puzzle-adventure RPG inspired by old RPG Maker horror games like Yumeniki, Ao Oni, Mario the Music Box, and other RPGs I adore, like the Mother series, Undertale, Oneshot, and Omori. It's a game where you, yes, you, guide a child named Alex through a dying world. You help him not only find a way back home, but also save the world! And I'm not exaggerating on the you part. The game is very meta. God, I hate that word. Since it recognizes you, the player, to be as integral to the narrative as the characters themselves are. Not only will they sometimes address you directly, but you'll also encounter quite a few puzzles on your journey, which you'll have to solve through unconventional means, each one being unique in some way. A save whose code is the current on your PC, or a bridge you'll have to look through the game's files and bring it to the correct area to progress. With that, alongside more traditional puzzles, I'm aiming to challenge players' critical thinking both inside and outside the confinements of the game environment to create both an interesting and immersive experience. Hopefully. And it's this uncertainty that leads us quite well to the theme of this video, being game development is an extremely time-wasting and mentally draining task, especially if you're going solo. Like me! There's a lot of stuff to consider, like art, story, writing, characters, gameplay, coding, game feel, music, sound effects, sound design, level design, marketing, bug testing. It's kind of a lot. But don't take this the wrong way, I love game development. Okay, it's a love-hate relationship, but nothing compares to the satisfaction of getting code to run well, finishing assets and seeing them in action, and all of that with the notion that it was all you! This is not a vent video, nor is it a traditional devlog. To be frank, I've tried writing both, and those scripts are now in the trash. Instead, consider this a game development advice video thingy, whatever, as I'll be using my own project as an example. So, with all that said, let's get to it. Tip number 1, plan ahead. I'll go out on a limb and say that making a plan and a to-do list literally saved my project. And honestly, it seemed a little counterintuitive at first. Why would I waste so much precious time creating an entire Excel document or failing around with notes and stuff when I could be working on my game? I already know what I need to put in the project, right? No. The thing is, it's really easy to lose track of how much stuff you actually need to do. This is my Excel document. It's been a while since I last used it, to be honest, but it was crucial during early stages of development. Everyone's had that day at least once. You know what I'm talking about. The day when you wake up and just don't know what to do with your life. Having a to-do list on hand will help you salvage those days and potentially reignite your productivity. Most of the time, at least. And this holds true for a simple notepad or document. When I finished with the majority of the game, I replayed it from start to finish and took notes. I ended up making a list of about 100 or so things I had to add, change, or whatever, no matter how important they were. This helped out a lot, since I could actually see the progress I was making. Every time you get to remove or check something in the list, it just feels so satisfying. Without a list to keep me in check, I just would have given up or done unnecessary things to the project without focusing on the more crucial parts, either of which would ruin my already shaky productivity. So yeah, make a to-do list, or an Excel document, or whatever. Make the small victories apparent, and thus you'll be able to focus more easily and increase your overall productivity. Tip number 2, use references, inspirations, and tutorials. This one's short but sweet. Don't know how to code something specific? Look it up. Something in character design or how to make something specific? Look up references. Just look things up. Search around. It will make the production phase so much easier. And this goes for anything, really. Character design, level design, music and sound design, art, coding, literally anything you can think of can benefit with some research. And of course, you can make it your own afterwards, by all means. As an example, the inventory system I created. I used this tutorial by Almighty's and Taco, great name, as a starting point, but build off of it by adding, equipping, and combining items alongside keyboard controls. And don't even get me started on art and music. TLDR, seek outside resources whenever necessary, it will help a lot. Tip number 3. Know your limits. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you're a veteran, always keep the scope of your project in check. I think I clapped too loud. Don't make something that's bound to overwhelm you and will require tons of work, because to be frank, even the smallest of projects will demand hours of effort. Wanna know how many chapters I was planning this project to have? 8. Fucking 8! And it was traditional RPG with combat and stuff. Now it's a much more manageable 3 acts, focusing more on the story, the puzzles, and the characters. I did not want to work on a single project for over a decade. I mean, really, does that sound appealing to you? Toby Fox initially wanted to make Deltarune as his first commercial project, but he didn't. He created Undertale, a game way smaller in scope. Look how well it went for him. And now that he has more resources, a bigger team, and more experience in general, now he's creating a more ambitious project. If the game is good, nobody will care how long it is, so focus on the fundamentals, don't make a bloated, overambitious mess, and never overwork yourself. You'll only be making things easier for yourself. Tip number 4, show friends and family. This might seem weird at first, but it's 100% true. Letting some friends or family members playtest the game can be an amazing source of feedback. You, the game developer, already know everything about the project, so seeing things from a different perspective can drastically alter your perception on certain aspects of your game. Things that seemed simple or negligible might turn out important or necessary. I wrote a tutorial on how the inventory system worked and thought that putting it at the start of the game was a good idea, expecting people to read the instructions. But turns out, no! Pretty much everyone who played it either didn't remember the message or they just mashed past it, leaving them confused later on. Thus, I made it a pop-up window that appears whenever necessary. It's also split in half, one for equipping items and one for combining items, so it's not a lot to take in at once. In general, playtesting is crucial to making sure your game is fun and enjoyable. And as an extra bonus to this is seeing the reactions. Trust me, there's no replacing the feeling of pure and utter joy seeing people you know experiencing your game. It's not only beneficial for the project, as the feedback can often prove useful, but it's also a great source of motivation. Just make sure you filter through the feedback and avoid adding or changing unnecessary ideas. Check tip number 3 for more info, I guess. Tip number 5, it doesn't need to be perfect. I see so many people out there talking about their ideas for games or how they want to learn game dev, or any art medium for that matter, to make the dream project a reality. And trust me, I was one of them. Please, don't set unrealistic expectations like that, because if you're anything but competent with your skills, the final result will often be very different from what you originally envisioned. And that's fine! You don't have to make a perfect game, you don't even have to make a great one, as long as you make something. That's art, plain and simple. As an artist, I totally understand the mentality of hating your art, constantly noticing small imperfections. Trust me, I do that all the time. But there is no such thing as a perfect video game. And if you spend so much time trying to perfect the assets or the music or even the gameplay, you'll end up burning yourself out faster than a twig in a campfire. That was a weird comparison, why did I write that? Making an amazing piece of art is great, don't get me wrong, but you can't expect yourself to be perfect the first, second, third, even the 50th time. I originally envisioned Connected Fates as a fucking visual novel out of all things. But I wasn't happy with how it was turning out, so I scrapped it for the RPG approach. And even then, a lot of things changed to get to where it is now. Point being, a lot will change from your original vision. Be content with what you're capable of creating, trust the process, and if it needs to be touched upon in the future, you can definitely do that. There will always be room for improvement, so put yourself out there and make whatever you want. Because what's the point of a perfect video game if it's never going to be made? Tip number 6, the most important one, just have fun with it. Let's be honest, for a lot of us, solo game development is just a hobby. One we hope can become financially worth pursuing in the future, yes, but still. The worst thing you can do with a hobby is make it feel like it's your job. I know people say find a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life, but that's not true. Work is work, and no matter if you like or dislike your job, you're still prone to burnout or stress or whatever. So, no matter if you're pursuing game dev as a career or just a hobby, just try and have fun with it. Remember, you're the one in control. Try to enjoy the process, find solace in the small victories, and enjoy what you're making. If you're feeling burnt out, take a small break. Doesn't need to be days or weeks, it can literally just be a 30-minute walk outside or a meditation exercise. Don't expect things to work out first try, just keep at it and try to enjoy the process. At least that's what I tried to do, and it paid off quite well. I mean, I just released a public demo for my project containing the game's first act, but I'll touch on that later, trust me. Long story short, this is more of a general advice, but don't overwork yourself and be proud of what you've made. Not even in a boastful way, just pat yourself on the back every now and then. Because if you're not enjoying the game, that's gonna become apparent in the final product. So just take it easy, alright? Oh boy, that went different than I was expecting. Sorry if this video was all over the place, but that's what happens with 5 scrapped video scripts under your belt. I just wanted to make something, and I guess a typical devlog didn't do it for me. As I mentioned before, the demo for Connected Fates is publicly available, both on GameJolt and itch.io. It features unique characters, an interesting narrative, and some puzzles that break the fourth wall. It's about a 2-hour romp, so feel free to check it out if you're interested. It's free, so you're not losing much by trying it out. Anyway, advertisement over. If you've gotten this far, thank you. I'll keep this outro short since most people skip it anyway, but make sure to, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. You know the drill, this isn't your first YouTube video. And please check out my game. I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but I seriously appreciate it a lot. And by all means, feel free to give your own advice, or even link your own project in the comments. I've spent God knows how long talking your ear off about my perspective on things, so I'll have to hear what you all think. Anyway, that's all for now. This has been George Lifo, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Stay safe.